Quad Star Tuning here today, going over our brand new Billet fuel standing unit upgrade for the 6.5 liter turbo diesel vehicles. This guy gives you a totally solid billet aluminum hat that uses the float style standing unit or the Metrum rod that's also available from us, and gives you a full half-inch suction line all the way down to the bottom of the tank, so it gets rid of the tiny factory pickup tube. It still has a normal return into the tank also, and it's 100% designed and made in the USA by us. The stainless steel bracket here holds the pickup tubes away from the float so that it never contacts it and hangs up. These wire ties are chemical rated for this application in diesel fuel, so do not cut these. We've had a couple people ask about that. They thought maybe they were just for shipping, but that's not the case. If you cut them, the tubes will hit the float, and then your fuel level reading will not be correct. So to install this guy, make sure your fittings are removed. If they're not already, it should ship with them removed. And the reason being so you can get the lock ring on to install it in the tank. So the installation process is pretty simple. I have a brand new stainless steel fuel tank here for demonstration purposes. This is a truck fuel tank for this video. So just drop the whole assembly in. And we're not talking about the fuel level float much because there's a separate video for that. It installs in this upgraded standing unit, pretty much the same exact way it installs in the factory one. Take your lock ring, slide it over the wires for the standing unit, drop it into place. You can orient this where you want, but the lines generally are coming down behind the filler neck, so you kind of want to orient it in a way that when you put your fittings on, the lines are going to clear. And you can take your lock ring, make sure everything's centered up on the O-ring, get your lock ring into place, and you can tap it with a chisel and a hammer, or a screwdriver and a hammer. I'm not going to tighten it all the way down, just because we're making it for this video, but send your lock ring all the way home. There's stops on it here that'll hit the nubs. The tabs don't go all the way, but the stops will lock in. Now our sending unit's firmly in there. We can make sure it's sealed up. You make sure the O-ring didn't squeeze out on either side. And now you're ready to take thread sealant and put it on the fittings. These are national pipe thread, 3/8 and 1/2 inch holes. So you're going to put thread sealant or thread tape on all your fittings. This unit's actually for customers, so I'm not going to put the thread sealant on the fittings, but we just want to show that it is required on all pipe thread connections. It's not specific to this, it's just specific to all pipe thread. Your 1/2 inch, your larger fitting is your supply line. The 3/8 is going to go in the return, and the large vent goes in the center. Again, all these will get thread sealant before we screw them in. The vent goes in the middle and connects to the factory vent line that's on the filler neck. The 1/2 inch suction line goes in the rear port here. And the smaller 3/8 return goes on the left side. You can also look at the bottom of this and see that the larger 1/2 inch line's here, so larger 1/2 inch fitting goes here, smaller 3/8 one's here. So we put the 3/8 fitting up here. And then we also include the push lock fittings that go on to these AM adapters for your supply line, and again another one for the return. What we do here is we do include the large 1/2 inch hose. We give you about 10 foot of this to reach Air Dog, Fast, or Quad Star lift pumps, your Carter lift pump. The only thing, this really doesn't make sense to use with the stock lift pump because there's really no reason to upgrade in line on a stock lift pump, but this is generally for all the upgrades. So you're going to take your 1/2 inch line. It helps to use motor oil to lube these guys up because these are push lock. They do not require any hose clamps. The only one that needs a hose clamp is this gold standard hose barb for your vent line, but you can just reuse the clamps that you take off. So your 1/2 inch line is going to stab on your suction. We include this inline 100 micron Wix filter, Napa filter you can get anywhere locally to replace. You're generally never going to have to replace this guy though, because it's the same thing that the sock in the fuel tank was. So unless you have fuel contamination or you have an older fuel tank with rust or dirt or delamination where the galvanizing is coming off of it, clogging up your filter, you're never really going to need to replace this. And that's just because it's around 120 microns, just to protect your lift pump of coarse debris. And that goes in your 1/2-inch line anywhere from here down to your lift pump. Generally put it under the frame rail where it's easy to replace. Definitely recommend that, so you never have to go back into the tank to service it. There's really no reason that 1/2-inch line should ever get clogged. So once you have your supply with your inline filter, your vent connected, you're going to have the factory return line on the truck. Now what we do is we include these fittings labeled stock return line to 3/8 adapters. So it comes with the metric O-ring adapter, and this guy is 2 pieces actually. I'll show you an AN adapter with a regular 3/8 push lock. So your factory return line is going to be like right here on the truck. You just screw this guy in, and that adapts down to 3/8 hose. So you're just going to have this sitting here like this on the truck, and we include the 3/8 hose, and you just connect your return right into the tank. Easy peasy, no cutting, no mess. If for any reason this is damaged on the truck or whatever, this is a 5/16 line, you're just going to have to either switch out this fitting and adapt it to 5/16, or run a barb adapter that goes from 5/16 to 3/8, just so you can get a 3/8 line into here. But the kit is designed just to use what's there. We assume it's going to be good, but you might have to adapt the situation a little bit for your particular application. And then with this guy, you're never going to be starving your lift pumps. Your premium lift pump upgrades, again, like the Fast or the Air Dog, are actually designed for 1/2-inch suction lines. Connecting them to factory lines or adapting the factory sending unit isn't really a great solution for those, because you never really want to starve your lift pump of fuel. And then this way, a proper fuel system design has a larger suction than the supply side. So we generally always try to run 1/2-inch supply side on our lift pumps, and then 3/8 out on the pressure side into your primary fuel filter and up to the engine. So if you guys have any comments, throw them in the video. We'll try to answer them for you. You can always email or message us, and we appreciate your support as always. Thank you.